Good evening. Today is Friday, March 10th, 2017, and I'm going to be discussing the potential for a massive blockbuster snowstorm coming up just in a few days away. Currently, what I'm looking at is winds in knots at 2,000 feet, roughly at 2,000 feet. This is the last run, and this is the current run. The current run is forecasting close to hurricane force winds, in excess of hurricane force winds at 2,000 feet, which at the surface will probably mean 50, 60 mile an hour winds. If this storm goes just a little bit further to the east and gets as strong as the European is forecasting, we are going to be talking about snowfall in close to feet instead of inches. So this storm is the GFS is forecasting a bombing storm. Not only that, but it's going to be passing right over the benchmark, which is right over here, literally right near the benchmark. And so I'm going to trace a path from the storm from here to here. It'll be something like this. And snow lovers definitely want to see a track like that. And with the GFS trending just a little bit further to the east than the last model, this is a very good sign. But you see a double barrel area of low pressure. But the most important thing to look at is the temperatures. Not necessarily where the center is located, but the temperatures aloft. That's the most important thing to look at. And then the surface temperatures. You see how they reach in the mid-40s? The current run is showing several degrees cooler. But look at this now. See, much more colder air is now being worked in. The GFS is finally starting to get a handle that maybe the storm might go further to the east. And if that happens, and you get a bombing storm, boom, you're going to get a blizzard. And the snowfall rates could actually become higher because of dynamic cooling, which will further cool down the temperatures aloft, and then that will transition down to the surface. And this is forecasting winds in excess of hurricane force at 2,000 feet. If you're going to have a bombing storm, most of your strongest winds will be on your north and east side, but also on your west side too. You'll have some pretty strong winds, maybe 50, 60 knots. So you probably have 40, 50 mile an hour winds at the surface. So what the GFS is what the Euro is forecasting, with the storm going basically like this, the storm, instead of being here, will probably, instead of going like something like this, the storm will go something like this, which will definitely increase snowfall amounts along the coast. And with dynamic cooling, even if you're initially marginally warm enough for snow, your temperatures will crash, up going down, and then from northwest going southeast, and you'll have mostly snow. So you might start off as snow, and you might not even change over. You might change over just for a brief moment when you have the east winds, and then crash back to snow. But if the storm is going to stay to your southeast, you might have northeast winds the entire time. You might have like a coastal front setup, which will have the snow precipitation stay mostly snow. So right now, my thinking is that it's going to be something between the Euro and the GFS. And definitely, you're not going to have the storm here. You'll probably have it somewhere over here. You'll probably have a track something like this. So instead of being 39 as your peak temperature, you'll probably have it maybe 32, 33. But this is the GFS, which is not counting in effect it's not rapidly intensifying the storm, nor is it showing really that much dynamic cooling. See, as the storm progresses, there's a lot of cold air, a lot. And look what happens. The storm comes, and it shows a little bit of dynamic cooling, but then it shows a quick transition over. It shows to warm air trying to work in. But if you have a bombing storm, and the storm just goes a little bit further to the southeast, which I think it will, now that the European model's been very consistent, and the European ensembles have been very consistent with this, my thinking is we will probably get some very cold air aloft. Just a 50-mile track will make the difference between rain and snow and a blizzard. And I think we might be right on the cusp. My thinking is 8 to 14 inches of snow. I was thinking 8 to 12 earlier, But with the Euro showing 2 to 3 feet and the GFS is forecasting 8 to 12, I think 8 to 14 right now is a pretty safe bet, and I will update my forecast tomorrow morning. Not on this computer, but on the other one. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Actually, before I go, here's my snowfall forecast. 8 to 12, 8 to 14 for New York City. And possibly as much as 3 feet for inland areas. 2 to 3 feet for inland areas. Maybe even more, because there will be a lot of precipitation with this storm. So basically, this amount will probably be most likely here. The 9.1 is actually further down here. That's actually Trenton's amount. 9.1, I believe, is like Trenton over here. Or maybe Perth Amboy might be getting 9. I don't know, but it's here. So it's kind of misplaced. That 5.1 you see here is actually, the 5.3 here you see here is actually the buoy 40025. So that's different. But areas like here could see 2 to 3 feet, maybe even more, and you could have this go to the coast. So the New York City right now with the GFS is in the purple, so 8 to 10 inches, 8 to 12 in the New York City area. So my thinking is that New York City will probably get 8 to 14, so we might get as much as that. So this might end up crashing into New York City. But if the Euro happens, we might get these amounts in New York City, so close to 2 feet. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. My preliminary forecast is 8 to 14 inches for New York City, but that's subject to change. And I will be giving you constant updates on this storm. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.